people. Welcome to another episode of LT Talks, Localization Talent Talks. Today we're here in Gala in Boston and my guest is Mike Sank. Hi Mike, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Made it okay all the way?
Made it okay. Had to come in a little bit early to be sure I got here.
Okay. Mike, you've been in this industry a long time. 1997 you started in TransPerfect?
That's right.
And originally in sales?
Yeah, that's right.
Tell us a little bit about the journey. So from that role back in 1997 to where you are today, how it's evolved and grown as TransPerfect has over the years.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been quite fortunate. When I joined TransPerfect, we were 22 people.
Oh my goodness.
And we were only in the US, just an American company.
Okay.
The founders at that time knew that they wanted to expand internationally. I sort of put myself out there within my first year when I was a salesperson, and I was able to lead the company's international expansion. Okay. So we set up offices in Brazil, in a number of European cities, in Hong Kong. At this time, we didn't have an HR department or an accounting department, so or recruiters or anything, So it was, we're all figuring it out as we went along, and that very much includes myself. And then I sort of was able to do that again after 5 years of the international operations role, as we called it. We decided we wanted to start seriously focusing on acquisitions, not as a means for growth, but acquiring technology or acquiring a company that would help us get into a new market. I had no training for that either, just as I had no training for working internationally. Once again, I was able to learn as the company was learning.
Okay. Very good. We were talking a little bit about that yesterday, actually. Bridging the gap between universities and the industry, and there's definitely an appetite, I think, for just throwing people in and having them do the job. Do you think that's a good idea? What would be your opinion on that? Obviously, it's worked.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Maybe that's debatable. I don't know, but yeah. Of course, not to say that education is meaningless, but I think to some extent, especially in our industry, which is it's supposedly an industry of many billions now, but I think it's still in its infancy in a way, and so there's only so much that we can do. Look at technology, the way it impacts what we do, whether it be machine translation or workflow, and things change very quickly, and so to some extent there probably is a limit to what you can set out to teach people versus just sort of throwing ourselves in there and figuring it out as we go. Yeah.
And in your role throughout all these years, you've been responsible for hiring people, you've had to hire salespeople, you've had to hire operations people. What type of person do you think you need to be successful in this industry?
I think, to some extent that depends on the role. There are different characteristics, let's say, of a successful salesperson versus a successful project manager or engineer. On the other hand, in our company, which is a growing company, and I think that's very important, there's a lot of overlap. I would say the short answer in terms of what we're looking for, what works with TransPerfect, is that we're looking for, rather than focusing on what a person's experience is, not to say that I feel like I make a lot of, when I make answers that sound like they're black and white answers, I want to qualify them. There's a lot of gray, but generally, I would say that they're not focused on experience.
Okay.
We're focused on finding the person who, even if they come from outside the industry, and the vast majority of our hires do come from outside the industry, that they have the right personality type for a growing company, right, and for TransPerfect. And again, what that means may vary a bit for the role, but I think it means that it's a cliched word, but entrepreneurial. We want someone who wants opportunity, who wants to be put into situations where they're going to have to solve problems, and it's not all laid out for them. People who are ambitious, people who are open-minded. You know, a lot of our employees come from, they may speak multiple languages, they may have grown up in multiple countries, and so even if we're hiring someone who has not done that, we do want to hire employees who will fit in that culture and embrace that culture.
Okay. And so as the industry has grown up, do you see a lot of positions have changed? Do we have new positions today that we didn't have 10 years ago?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The short answer to that question is yes. I can't speak about other companies so much, but I can say at TransPerfect that, you know, when we started, we were small, and you know, I was one of a few salespeople. Just to take sales as an example, you know, I was selling to many different types of companies. And there may still be salespeople in TransPerfect and other companies who don't just focus on one type of client. But on the other hand, there are many, many, many employees in TransPerfect as we verticalized and developed practice groups for particular types of clients. You know, you have specialists now, you know, a program manager who just deals with large pharma clients, for example. And so you have you know, people, I think, specializing in being experts in coming from that field. You know, we we have hired a number of our employees from the pharmaceutical industry. And then again, as we mentioned before, you know, as technology has changed, of course, the requirements for, you know, what type of developers, what type of engineers that we need to drive and manage our use of that technology changes. So much too late for the short answer, but the short answer is yes.
You obviously love it. Why do you love it?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, as I said before, I've been very fortunate in that I've been able to, you know, life is about experiences. And I've certainly had very interesting experiences in my TransPerfect career. You know, it started with joining a small company that really was a startup, and you know, setting up the LA sales office. From there, I was able to shift and you know, see the world and live in a number of different countries and throw myself into developing business in different countries, and now I'm managing M&A for TransPerfect. I don't come from a finance background. Once again, I've learned on the job. You know, that's been incredibly satisfying. There's an element to my job of general management, which I find very satisfying. That includes a lot of mentoring and problem solving, and so I mean, I love it because it's been challenging, it's been interesting, and I consider myself very fortunate.
Fantastic. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insights. I know the conference is busy, so thanks for taking time out to talk to us today.
Thank you.
You've been watching LT Talks, Localization Talent Talks. Let's keep the talent conversation going. Please like, share and tweet so we can raise awareness for the wonderful careers that people have within the localization industry. I'm Annette Lawler. Thanks for watching.